Hello my friends, the heat wave continues. It is still cooler compared to what it was 3 days ago. It was plus 41 degrees centigrade, now it's plus 31, but still it's kind of hot. So I've decided to go once again to this river to try out how the water is today, and I can see that the level of the water is a little bit higher than usual. It's a good sign. It seems like there is the precipitation in those mountains. Yeah, I understand that my videos outside they're a little bit clumsy, but nevertheless I want to speak about some topics. And today I saw that Donald Trump put a golden eagle on the White House, maybe over the entrance itself. A freaking golden eagle, my friends. So it's like the symbol of empire or something. He likes eagles, and some of the eagles are very funny. The one, for example, he put on a pedestal, then he speaks, or his office members. It looks ugly. It reminds me of Nazi Germany with those eagles. Yeah, of course, American eagle is different, but still it's an eagle, and it's the symbol of, let's be honest, empire. And is the United States empire itself? I think yes, in a way, but not the classical one. I would say it's the economic empire. Yeah, here again we have a dot built just in case for the Second World War, which wasn't here really, just economically. And economically, yeah, United States is the economic empire. So as every empire, it needs to expand and boost its development and influence all around the globe. That's why dollar is so much powerful. Well, United States, they're into the wars, really. They have wars every, I guess, 10 years. The recent passion is, of course, the Middle East for the last, I think, already 30 years. And sometimes they're successful, sometimes not. Depends from what side you look. Well, in Afghanistan, I think it was really not a successful, after all, operation. And Iraq, is it friendly for the United States? I wouldn't say so. After what happened, I think they have the different kind of the government, and they want to be friends with other camp, for now at least. And of course, this latest epic Fury operation, it went not according to plan. It seems like, as we understand. Oh my! Whew. It seems like the stream is faster than usual. Let's go! Nice. Wow, it's kind of cold. Here the bottom is very close, but it's fine. Whew, it's colder than usual, but it's refreshing. I want to sleep, really. I haven't been sleeping for the last night. Like I slept yesterday for a few hours and decided to refresh, and now I'm gonna go home, sleep for several hours. I'm gonna record one more video later on. Maybe gonna pause this one and then go sleep. Because after all, editing my vlogs is very, very simple. It's uncomparable to Ukrainian updates. And I really put my hand on the pulse of the war in Iran, even though I'm not speaking too much about that stuff on my main channel. But I follow the events, and I would say that America is not winning here either. But I see the general trend of the United States, how it evolves into some sort of the autocracy, I might say, yeah, with Donald Trump. And what was unacceptable like 10 years ago, for now, it's fine for the leaders of the country to post some of the stupid shit, like it was with Obama. They were depicted by Donald Trump on his Truth Social as monkeys. Everyone would have been fired for that like 10 years ago, so the trend I don't really like. And it's not only in the United States of America, it's also in Europe. For example, in Poland, they now have the anti-Ukrainian rhetorics, and they're basically, can I call them Nazis? This Peace Party and Confederation, they propel pro-Russian narratives, and they have no argument against Russia, against Soviets, against, I don't know, anyone else. Just Ukraine. Ukraine is guilty, UPA is guilty. It wasn't like that a few years ago. Even Nawrocki himself, the current Polish president, he says, like, Ukraine has the right to honor their heroes, whether it's Bandera, UPA, Shukhevich, so local heroes. Like for Polish, it's the same. There are local nationalists who also massacred Ukrainians, maybe even at the same scale. Well, they tell that Ukrainians caputed so many Poles, but recently they tried to uncover like how many. But just recently they went through exhumation, I think, in one of the villages where Poles claimed that there are tons of the Polish bodies should be found, and nothing was found. So it's all historical thing, guys. And now politicians are using it as the argument for their political battle. So now there is confrontation between Nawrocki and Tusk, and Ukraine is just the topic in this confrontation. Zelensky says about it openly, and it's definitely like that. So before it wasn't the issue for Nawrocki or someone, this Ukrainian thing, Upaya. So now they're speculating on that, and it is happening elsewhere. Everyone is speculating. Open, I don't know, Elon Musk's page, and he is still affiliated with this kind of the MAGA movement. They accuse immigrants about everything. They accuse like the groups of people, Somalians. Yeah, Donald Trump likes to say like that. And for the last week, I think Donald Trump started to accuse communists, where he says about communists in the United States of America. I remember the first month then he was elected, it was Antifa, then of course Democrats, freaking liberals, and so on. So they need this internal enemy, if they do not have the external one, to unite their electorate, to unite the people over something, yeah, around something, around MAGA in this case. And this is just the useless attempt to create such an enemy. And sadly, it's within the United States themselves. In Europe, it's a little bit different. Like, for example, I told you with Poles, they accuse neighbors, Ukraine, which is fighting for Europe, and for Poland now against Russia. And again, they forget about what Russians did, and this is the hot topic now in Poland. That's why I'm speaking about it. I don't want really to speak about this history, because if we go there, Poles did absolutely crazy stuff about Ukraine, but if they don't want to learn their own history like that from negative perspective, it's up to them. But the history is history, and yeah, every country writes it on its own. But the bad thing that I see that we are not learning in the history, we speculate on that for political bonuses, and that's it. And politicians are using that. And in the general trend in Europe, I might say, even though the Orban is no more, the trend is to turn Europe into some sort of the far-right conglomeration of the countries which hate each other. And I think it's the main reason why those narratives are being propelled by Elon Musk, by J.D. Vance, because they don't like united Europe. Yes, if we are arguing against each other, like for example Poles and Ukrainians now, by the way, Ukrainians have nothing against Poles in general, like there was the rating, just 8% of Ukrainians, they're concerned about Poles, like they may not like, but Polish society is like half of them, according to statistics. It's crazy how their politicians brainwash their people, and by the time there is the full-scale war against Russia and Ukraine. Nice. Ooh. So amazing. Great activity here. I'm gonna turn a little bit. Yeah, he's doing great. So yeah, that's the bridge. Usual bridge. And yeah, so I'm a little bit concerned about the future of Europe, about the future of everything. I think we are turning again to the wrong direction, and Europe is going to be maybe like it was before the Second World War. Nationalist movements divided Europe and fighting against each other. So yeah, we are going to this kind of scenario. I don't see like positive signs for now, at least. Well, the only positive probably is that Orban was dismissed by his own people, and the democratic institutions, at least for now, they're working if he was dismissed, even in Hungary. But still, I try to be optimistic. However, something big is coming, and I can feel it. I think you can feel it as well, that yeah, the signs are the same as before the Second World War. Some of the big confrontation. Could it be? I think yes. because there are the countries like China and Russia still out there, and they want to, like those classical empires, create and expand their influence. And it's not going to be like with the United States case, United States empire, with economy influence, but they're starting wars, and Russia already started its war in Ukraine, and China probably could be next. And Europe should be like united to possess some of the resistance against those autocracies. So I would say that the Third World War is already partially happening. It's not that open like the Second World War, but I think the confrontation is out there. Whew. It's time to go out from this river. Yay. Hi. Hello. Ooh. Yeah, it's hot outside. I can feel it. Usually it's like 8 minutes to go, like maybe 600 meters, something like that, swim. Maybe I'll go for the next time, I'm not sure. Maybe one is enough, because I really tired, really want to sleep. Wow, it's gonna be rain. One more sign that it's probably going to rain is when you smell the poo. If you go outside on a car and on a bicycle, if you smell the poo, it means that farmers put the poo on the fields and it smells. And they usually do it before rain. So they look through the forecast, and for it not to smell like for several days, they put just before the rain. And it's gonna be raining, maybe, and it's a very good sign. Wow, this is a very big one in the mountain range. Awesome. And there is the one. I think that one is over Germany, maybe. Whew, flies are flying. It's great, fantastic weather. I want to search the variant of how to make those kind of the outdoor videos more entertaining. Like usually I choose the topic and I speak about it, but should I do something else, like some of the action activity? I'm not sure. Or just blah 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 is okay, because maybe some of the trip, maybe some of the outdoor cookings, something like that. I don't know, something more actionable, something more interesting on practice. I really like the channel Outdoor Boys, but here even the camping is forbidden. You should camp in special camping zones, and there are lots of the people. It's maybe if you know just some of the farmer to put the camp on his territory, his land, that will go. But I cannot go in the forest with a tent. Here it's absolutely no. Virgin nature outside, yeah. You cannot go off trail on a motorcycle, even on a powerful electrical bike. No, you cannot do it. Yeah, today is just a Tuesday. Not many people. They work on weekend. It's crazy on weekends. But now not many people, and it's very free. The river is also free from people. Very good to exit, enter, and there are lots of the space under the trees and so on. Yeah, very nice area here. But usually summer times quite crowded, could be. Alright guys, that's all what I want to yap today about, and see you around. Ciao.